All right, so guys, as you know, I'm out today. I wanted to try to be productive here and make the most out of our time or your time in subclass. So I've turned to the notes here. You should see it on your screen. This is one of the pages in your packet. This goes over the basic shapes that we've addressed and how those basic shapes now basically shift um, up, down, left, right, and how they might become more narrow, become more wide. So what you'll notice here is what we call CD. All right, CD is our starting point. All right, sorry. Um, you want to identify that point to begin every one of these problems. Figure out where you're going to start, plot that point, and then we look at the A term, which you'll notice is the very first term that you see listed before the parentheses, before the absolute value, or before the radical. And that gets you to your next point. Okay. So if we look here at number one, basic shape. We do not see a value for C or we do not see a value for D. Basically, what that's telling us is our point is at 0, 0. Okay. And then all I need to do to get to my next 2 points is to look at A, which is 1. It's understood to be 1. And then I have to know that this is a parabola, meaning I go up 1 and over 1, all right, both directions. It is symmetrical. And I got my shape. All right. Here in the second one, also a parabola. Again, figure out your starting point, which is -3, 0, right? It's the 0 of inside the parentheses. There is not a number that's out to the right. So we'll start there, plot our first point, and then we'll look at A, which here is +1 again. So that just moves us up 1 and over 1, both directions. But what we need to know is, again, this is a quadratic. I got to know the basic shape or else I won't be able to graph these. Okay. And number 3, well, this 3 is different. This 3 affects the y-axis. So our starting point is 0, 3, 3 on the y-axis. Again, we look at A. A determines where we go after we start. Our next 2 points, 1, 2. Up 1 and over 1, both directions. All right. Now, the next are also quadratics. Starting point is the 0 of the parentheses, so it's 1, 1. In this one, it's going to be 2, -3. And in number 6, we'll start at 0, +2. We do not see a number inside parentheses with x, so x is not affected. Doesn't move it left, doesn't move it right. That function will actually just shift up. But going back to number 4, all right, plot that first point. Really focus on identifying what we're calling CD. Okay. Once you get that first point, determine what A is. Here, A is a -1. So I move down 1 and over 1 to my left and to my right. In number 5, same thing. I got my starting point. I'm going to go plot that point. All right. I'm going to look at A, which is 3, and I'm going to go up 3 and over 1, both directions. They're symmetrical. All right. Number 6, do it again. We don't move left or right, we only move up. Now, be mindful of this. Back up top on your paper, it tells you to only go left or right 1 unit. All right, so I'm not going down 1 over 2. I'm going down a half and over 1. So you go down a little bit and you go 1 right and 1 left. And sorry, I missed that. It makes sense. Like it's a negative function, so it should be opening downward. Okay. I'll try to go through the next few a little bit quicker. There's no change in how you identify C and D. You got to get your starting point first. From there, you still look at A. The only thing that changes is the shape of the function. This is an absolute value function, so it should be V-shaped. All right. This is another absolute value function. I got my starting point. I look at A. Again, it's another V. However, this V would open downward. All right. So you plot that first point. You look at A. A is going to move us down 1 and over 1 in both directions, similar to quadratics, except here, I'm not going to try to make it as curved. I want to try to make a V shape. All right, let's take a look at the back. Again, I'm trying to save you some time here. I'll have the answer key posted so you can actually look at it as you take these notes. But again, it's identifying where we're going to start. I got to remember the zero of, right? And then whatever numbers on the outside like that. So negative 1, 2. Plot that point, and then from there, look to determine what A is. A is 1. But here, I'm going to go up 1 and to the right. I'm going to go back down to where I started. I'm going to go down 1 and to the left. And I got to know what a cubic function looks like. We spent another class going over that. So it's figuring out where you start, what impact does A have, and then also, obviously, the basic shape of the function. Let's look at 14 with a radical. Find the zero of this, which would be 2. There's not a number out to the right. That number now must be 0, right, if it was out here. We plot that. We look at A. A is 1. So I go up 1 and over 1, and I know what a radical function looks like. All right. I'll point out a few more things, and then I'll let you kind of look at my answers, and I want you to try some of these on your own, okay? Make sure you try this, all right? This has to, you have to give this a little bit of effort, a little bit of time, your attention and focus. So in 15, 16, 17, 18, you'll notice some things change. A is negative. Well, after you plot your first point, I just want you to go down 3. So 1, 2, 3, and to your right 1. We started at negative 1, 2. We went down 3. You'll notice in a few others, okay? Again, stress 0 of this. Well, the 0 of that is positive 4. So I'm starting at positive 4, 0. All right? A is 1, except there's another difference here, as well as in number 17, and that is that the x is a negative. And when the x is negative, your arrow to your shape is going left. So here I'm going to go up 1, but I'm going to the left 1. There it is. There's my function. So I want you to take these notes. I want you to look at the answer key, and I want you to try the next set of problems on your own. Okay? Really give it some effort, whether it's, you should be doing it in subclass, but if you need to revisit it over the weekend, I hope that you would. All right? Guys, thanks for giving me your attention here. Make the most out of this. Use it, and have a good weekend. All right? Thanks. Stop the video.